All right. Okay. Are jumping straight in today. Oh, asking about that in the news. All right, so I am jumping straight in to the project I was working on yesterday, which is this James Webb. James is part. I'm second guessing myself now. The Webb telescope, I know that part of it for sure. James Webb, yeah, it is. Okay. So we have this page from NASA, and again, this is recapping a little bit. If you want to see the beginning of this project, you can check out the VOD from yesterday on YouTube, or I think they stay on Twitch for a little while, but I'm not sure how long. NASA created this page, and it tells you the current status of this Webb telescope, the new telescope that they're sending up. They are in the negative 300s on these temperatures over here. I thought I had seen that yesterday when I started out, and then by the time I was done, these were all the way up to negative 200 or so. So they raised about 100 degrees, I think, in the time that I was working on this yesterday, which is interesting. So we are pulling the data that's on this page, and we're putting it onto CircuitPython devices. So I think I still have the PyPortal loaded up, or I should say maybe have the PyPortal loaded up again. I think I swapped it out for something else yesterday afterwards. We get here. Nope, this is on the busy simulator. Let's Webb telescope. So I think I sharing same now. Versus busy sim contents are identical. So if you didn't watch yesterday and you're interested in how this works, the page itself seems to be the source of the data. They didn't publish, or at least I couldn't find a official NASA provided API that provides the same data. So instead, what I have found is a third party who created server application that my understanding is it hits the page. Whenever you make a request to this web server, it makes a request to this page and it parses out the data which is contained on this page, mostly the values inside these things here in the middle. And then it returns it to you as minimal JSON. So they have the project itself is the actual server. You could download it, you could run it yourself. But they do have one also hosted, API jwst-hub.com. And at the root, it just tells you, okay, it's working. But if you do /track, this one, it gives you back the current data, again, ultimately from this web page, but as JSON. So this is the JSON we're consuming inside CircuitPython. I do have the PyPortal set up now, so this is showing some of that data. It might be hard-coded from yesterday. I put some temporary data just in a variable so that I could iterate on the UI a little bit quicker. And I don't know if we switched back to the live data or not, but we do need to add a couple more things to the UI on this, and we are going to swap it over onto the AgTag. So I think I will eventually come back and finish up the PyPortal one. Putting the temperatures down here is really the last major thing to do. Maybe prettying it up, maybe add a NASA logo or something like that, and possibly a loading screen. If we wanted to get super fancy, maybe a switch between kilometers and miles, which they offer on the webpage as well. That stuff's kind of like icing on the cake, I think. We'll see if we get there. We definitely want to get the basic version out, out there and published, because this is like a timed thing, right? After 29 or 30 days or whatever, then this is not so relevant anymore, right? It's going to be installed. It's going to be just there doing its thing. Hopefully sending pictures back to us if that's the goal. I think it's probably going to be taking pictures and sending them back to us. So maybe eventually they'll show up in NASA, picture of the day or whatever. But we definitely want to make sure to get this up and running and out as quick as we can for folks to actually use. So if we don't get too many of the fancy features, I think that is okay for now. So what I'm going to do is just copy the code that we have now, and I'm going to start working on the AgTag one, which we'll have to change up a little bit because the way it accesses the internet is different. And the screen is different, of course. We won't be able to use full color, obviously. So like we did just white and gray. Throw up the camera. We did just white and gray on the PyPortal, which fits with the AgTag as well. But like a NASA logo or something to add some color to it. We could do that on the PyPortal, but of course not the e-ink on the AgTag. All right. And one thing is the AgTag is a little bit tighter on storage, I think. So fonts, if we'll be able to go here. I guess I should have probably copied that font over from the PyPortal. Let me plug that back in. We will have to arrange things differently on the AgTag. We have a shorter, more narrow screen. The PyPortal is 320 by 40, something like that. AgTag is only 100 something by 200 something. Did those backwards. Wider than it is tall. Of course, you can turn it whatever you want as well. Let me grab the font from here. By 1 now, probably, right? I usually try to keep just one thing plugged in, but work with like this, CircuitPython 1, 2, 3. We're going 14. Up yesterday for this project. We'll need to delete the biggest one. Arial. Lata. Arial, I think maybe this was from the sports one. Get them back from the project page if we end up wanting to use them. And the thing is that my computer creates this automatically so that I can undo deletions, which is nice, but it does take space. Okay. Code, what's inside here? This is Badger simple test. We don't need to keep that. That's in the repo. The secret setup, probably, right? Yeah. So one thing is the internet works way different. Well, I shouldn't say way different, but it certainly is different. We don't have to set up the ESP32 SPI, do any of that stuff. So I'm going to head back to requests. And find the example for AgTag. Yeah, one's just importing Wi-Fi directly, which is how the AgTag does it. And our thing is HTTPS, although we didn't really do anything different for that last time and it was just working, so that's nice. So I'm gonna unplug the PyPortal here, that way, whoops. Sorry about that, hopefully that wasn't too loud. Knocked over the old microphone. Plug the PyPortal, that way I don't accidentally edit any code on it. And basically we will get rid of these, add these. Wi-Fi.radio.connect. So yeah, this is our test run variable. This is what's telling us whether we will just use the hard-coded data or actually fetch data from the real API. This is making it easier to, I should say quicker to iterate on the interface. Because we have fake data, we can just plug in real fast. Don't have to wait for it to actually fetch. So we don't need to set up any of this. We need to set up any of this. Our loop here probably should be different, although there is no loop in this one. Maybe we should... I was retrying. There a by.radio.connected is... I don't know what will loop. There's probably something we could loop here, but... No, we'll have to, we shouldn't even really catch this for now until we get the loop back. But let's just try it, and if it fails, we'll see how it fails, and then we'll know what to catch. And then we can bring the loop back, or figure out if there's a, like, is connected. I don't know, is that on radio? Wi-Fi radio? No, it doesn't look like it. There might be a way to do it. I don't know what it is. We'll take it out for now. Oh. So this part we will do differently, right? This should be in our example. Socket. HTTPS we need now. Expected argument. Why that thinks it's expected. Oh, okay, and then this is basically the thing attaching it to requests. I need this more. Then we can just say https.get. I think I want to call this before. Set the socket. I want to call this something different. Yeah, we have requests. Get. I think I want to just do that. But it's the same. We don't have to change the second half of the code. Undefined. Well, it can't really be undefined though, right? If this fails, then this reloads. So it's never actually going to get to here if this didn't succeed. The IDE doesn't know that though. And one thing is, all of our locations are going to be way off for this. We're going to also, we have rotation. We're going to undo rotation. It's been a minute since I used a AgTag. Do you have to do anything special for the display? Just because this is what code was loaded up. Go here. On board.display, isn't it? It is. Obviously, the hardware is way different, doing different stuff internally. You have to not call refresh very often. That part I do remember. I guess, yeah, we should actually get this thing because sometimes this can happen. Go below the data stuff. Don't have time yet. Basically, we're going to change the display, then we're going to call try refresh. And it is on display. Yeah. So for now, let's just run with test run, and let's strip the location of these labels a little bit. So I think I'm just going to start back on the top left here. So the value for lapse time, just going to put it in the top left corner, 6.6. Keep a little bit of margin there. We should do our margin smaller though. Let's leave it 6 for now. We'll see. Some of this stuff we could actually leave, right? How this is going to the right side, we can actually just leave. That seems okay. It up a little bit. Let's get a couple of these. We can start placing the other ones around them. First one, we're going back to 0. Goes 26 because it's below the value. That one goes. Gonna be back to 6. Well, 26. The label. Try a couple. Let's try these. I did never call type. Try refresh. Also, do I need to call I need to call. So this one doesn't that, but it's a badge. Calling display.show inside of here. I have a group. Didn't. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that looks pretty nice actually. So the background is black, which I think we want. I think we want a light. Want a light background? I guess. No, black. Good actually. This is black on the back. iPortal is black on the back. Space, right? This gives it kind of space vibes, right? Darkness of space. Maybe we do like it. We do like it like this. This one has a little bit different padding on the top. Interesting. I understand why that would be. So the date time will have to be much smaller. And it looks like, I don't know if we're going to be able to fit 3 things per column. We may need smaller text. Or we could also use the buttons to change screens, maybe. Maybe we have one screen, maybe we have a separate screen for the temperatures. So we have 4 non-temperature values, 5 non-temperature values. We could maybe fit 5. I think we could fit 5 on the display. And then you press a button and it takes you over to the temperature display. Basically either that or get smaller. I feel like this is a pretty good size though. I don't know how much smaller than this we'd really want to go. This one will also do some sleeping in between fetches. I wonder if we can sleep and then use 2 different buttons as wake up alarm pins. And then depending on which one gets pressed, have different behavior when we wake back up. I don't know if that's possible. Let's go ahead and put the 4th value here though. And definitely use smaller font on the timestamp. So one thing is these are always just using font. we don't pass this, it'll be true. It'll use the custom font. If we pass it false, then it will go back to stock font. So now on the timestamp one, custom font false. That looks the same to me. Maybe the custom, maybe the default font is not. Valid syntax. That pass. I think this one runs but doesn't refresh. Okay, that's much smaller. Oh, I know what I did. I created this underscore font, but then we didn't put it and pass it to label. Oh, okay. This, yeah, we created this, but we didn't use it, right? This needs to be here. There we go. Now our timestamp is way smaller. Much better. Now, our fourth one over there. Maybe from Earth and to L2 orbit, maybe these should be together on the same side for both distances. Could also put some units in there, maybe. I didn't do the table. I wonder why the padding is different. I feel like on the PyPortal we had built-in padding on the top. Why we didn't add any here. Okay, I know what we'll do. So if we do cruising speed here, then we can do a progress bar for percent complete, like along the bottom somewhere. It looks like we're currently bottom right. Want to go left side? Want to match y values of from Earth. Thank you. Back to left side. There we go. The values could go down like just a scotch on that second row. They're a little closer to the label above them than they are to the label below them. And the label below them is the one that applies to them. Really, they could, it's not going to need to be much, but right for a little more. Now they're pretty much in between, which looks better than it did before, I think. I guess they look pretty much the same as the top row now. We'll leave it there. Maybe I'll leave it there. Let's put the timestamp in the bottom right instead of the bottom left. Bottom right. Okay, so there's our date time. So now we'll just put the progress bar kind of where this is at there. I guess it'd be nice to have the progress bar label. It'd also be good maybe to put like web status, W-E-B-B, web status or something, web, just in the middle there to tell you what project it's for. Or if we could find a black and white NASA. Like this pretty easily. I don't know, I guess stick it in the top there. Center. It's interesting they have like a time versus distance, but the percent doesn't change. There's no percent of time. There's only percent of distance. Would they post? True. All right, 1 minute. We gotta. There's some here. Okay. It's a nitro spammer. Maybe I'll leave out the progress bar for now, actually. Maybe we'll just put the percent. Maybe we'll keep the percent as a number here. Maybe, yeah, I think what I'll do is leave the percent as a number and actually swap these. I am going to put this back on the left, the timestamp. That way the percent distance complete is on the right side, which is where the other distances are. Actually, this one just guessed on 130 and is in a pretty good spot. Either that or the display doesn't allow you to put stuff below it. I bet you that it just guessed and got a pretty good value. We should use this though, right? We should get the same padding as everything else. All right. Back to Katney there in the, oh, we had a percent complete label. I think we'll do away with the percent complete label for now. That one was off the page, actually. Copy your updated version into the frozen folder in your core clone, build the boards that have it. Okay. Sorry, this is a bit of a rabbit hole. Basically, we're talking here. I can show it on the chat. We're talking about CircuitPython dev chat. We're talking about libraries that are frozen into builds, and then when they get PRs, trying to test to make sure that they're not going to be too big for those builds. So, for instance, this library thermsistor, GitHub. Has a pull request open that added a resistance property, which is like new functionality. It's not very big, you know, it only takes a couple extra lines basically. So it seems cool, seems like it'd be good to add this because it's new functionality that could be helpful for somebody, but we got to make sure it's not going to be too big for the builds like, you know, Circuit Playground Express has this built in, frozen library built in. We need to make sure that these builds are not going to get too big if the changes to that library are actually merged in. One thing is the languages also, I think, factor in. German. I don't think I've ever built. I don't think I've ever built anything other than the English build of CircuitPython, so that'll be fun. Probably spelled therms as. So I'll do that here in a minute. This is just kind of a work stream. So for folks that don't know, Mondays are my day to work on CircuitPython now. So that's what I'm doing this project here for, Webb telescope. But I am working on all kinds of stuff related to CircuitPython today. So I'll be jumping around a little bit, including trying to make those builds here in a little bit. Where did we end up here? Okay, yeah, I was just removing the label, and then on the timestamp, I want that in the bottom right. So, no, I want the timestamp in the bottom left, which it is. I want the percent in the bottom right, is this. And we could do the same thing here with height -6 to keep the padding the same. Yeah, I must have misunderstood the numbers. This one was 110, and it looks to be on the bottom, but I thought we just saw one that was 130 that also looked like the bottom. So we want to go from the right and the bottom. Okay. There's our timestamp. Here's our percent complete. And I think we should add some units to some of these things. So, well, the elapsed time, I don't have an easy way to add units to that, I guess. Could just call it elapsed, pick out time, and then put day, D:H:M:S:. They don't even give units here. Probably safe to say launch elapsed also instead of elapsed time. Or no, this one's probably fine. These should have units though. These are kilometers. Well, the API they come back as kilometers, yeah. If we want to convert them to miles, we'd have to do the conversion locally. So when we put the values into them, I think let's do this. All the floppy disk stuff. I hope with the work that's ongoing for floppy disks, we'll have the ability to play music with the drives. I remember seeing a bunch of Arduino years back. And I always thought that was cool. It'd be neat if we could do that from CircuitPython. So percent complete, we'll just put a percent sign. This one is kilometers per second. Kilometers/second. m/s. Timestamp, we don't really need units, it's got units. Okay, the other thing I think I'm going to do is swap from Earth and to L2 orbit. That way 2L2 orbit is closer to the percent. Essentially, this percent is telling us what percent of the way we are to L2 orbit. So having those two next to each other, I think makes more sense than the way I have it now. We're going to swap those around. And then I think we're getting pretty darn close to good on this. We'll have to look into waking up with the different buttons and see if we can know which button was pressed. And then we could maybe build in another page for the temperatures, but we can't do that. Then we may just go with only the what we have here, which is all about where it's at, more so than temperatures. Oh, you know what I've been open. Go again on a slight little rabbit hole tangent here. Not too. This one won't be too long, I don't think. I just want to see if there was see if there was another PR for this. I know Melissa's been doing work here, and I've been reviewing them. No, okay, not yet. Reason. For some reason I was thinking maybe there was another Blinka Display IO PR waiting, and I just saw a couple of other things Melissa was working on go through the chat there. Made me remember that I was going to check on. Alright, did this load up? Let's see. Yeah. Oh, right. When we're going to switch these two, that's where we're at. So 2L2 is here. It's currently 6. We're going to make it 56. And swap this one basically. 26 and 76. Yeah. This many kilometers away from Earth. This many kilometers left until the L2 orbit, which represents 76% of the way to L2 orbit as of the time this data came, which was yesterday. Currently, we're actually up to 78%. All right, yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. Let me briefly look into AgTag sleeping. Actually, I think I've run a few examples with it, but I ever did experiment too much. Not 100% sure what all is actually possible. Look into that for a minute. Let's see. We have deep sleep and light sleep. I think deep sleep is what we want on the AgTag, right? The whole thing that's cool about e-ink is that we can save stuff onto the screen and then shut off completely and the screen stays there. That's what we're trying to take advantage of here. I don't think we want light sleep, deep sleep. There's a similar program which does deep sleep. Video above. So what you see, remember, for deep sleep, the program exits and restarts when it's woken up. There is no while true loop. This one's using a time alarm. An alarm instead of time alarm, and it will keep until the 11 is pressed. So doesn't look like there would be a mechanism to know. I guess there's like deep sleep memory as well. Well, oh, okay. What woke me up? Yep, that's relevant. When a program awakens, an alarm. You can find out what kind of alarm by looking at alarm.wakeAlarm. If it didn't wake up from sleep, then it'll be none. If the program woke up from light sleep, it will one of the alarm objects pass to this. Third alarm is also returned by that function. Okay, but we're not doing lights. Program restarted after deep sleep, then alarm wake alarm will be an alarm object of the same type as the original alarm, but it will not be exactly the same objects. Its attributes may be different, or they may be incomplete in some way. You can find out that it was a time alarm. So maybe we could have it where we have a time alarm which wakes us up and runs the main program again, which is what we have here. We time alarm sleep for an hour, let's say. When we wake up, if we woke because of the time alarm, then we do this. But we could also set a pin alarm on one of the buttons. And then we say, when we wake up, if a pin alarm is the reason we woke up, then we do something different, like display temperatures, for instance. So that way this would run, it would display the current data, it would go to sleep. If you did not touch it, if you didn't do anything with it, then it would just wake up again in an hour, refetch new data, and update this display. But if you press the button, it would wake up at whatever time you press the button, it would fetch the current data, and it would show the temperatures. And then it would go back to sleep, wait again until it wakes up and shows the standard data again. So that way you could kind of choose between the location versus the temperatures by using that button. And maybe on temperatures, we could not sleep as long. Maybe on temperatures, we only sleep for like a minute or two, and then we switch back to the distance. That way it's easy to get back once you've gone to temperatures. Let's test with real data though. So we've been iterating on the UI here. I have this looking pretty good. but we've been doing fake data. So let's go here and say test run false. Make sure this still works. Yeah, looking good. We got 78.5% now instead of 76. Our distances are a little bit different. Time elapsed is an extra day tacked on there. So yeah, looking pretty good. Do you have the WhileTrue? I guess we would get rid of that. I'm going to save this and I'm going to keep an eye on seconds. It's at 26 seconds, 04 and 26 seconds. Data. Why these things are printing. 05 and 11 seconds. Our percent's different as well. So how do we get around that? Because it broke out of the screen to print this, which we don't really want. I wonder maybe if we just call the deep sleep if it won't do that. There's sleep memory as well. Maybe we could keep kind of variable about which state we want to go to. I don't know. I think we should get the basic one up and running first. So let's time alarm, I think. I'm not doing any NeoPixel stuff. What happens if you reset while you're deep sleeping? Like, suppose I was deep sleeping and then I just push the reset button, or it will just basically forget that it was deep sleeping and gonna wake up a whole new session. Install. What about implementing a Python course is of a implementing a Python core? I'm not sure what that means. Try this. Do we want to? Oh, I need to import alarm. That's where I'm at. Selected on the import. I think it's just alarm. This. Oh, I guess because we were doing ESP 32. So now this is set to sleep 20 seconds and wake up. What? Okay, so it did leave our screen here, which is nice. We've got pretending to deep sleep, and then now it's going to wake up, do the whole thing again. And of course, we would not actually use 20 seconds for real right here. We would use a longer time. But it is good to see this will at least update sleep and keep going. Got a good loop going here. I think let's make a variable. Actually, let's stop this running. We'll see for now. Make a variable called sleep time. And this is in seconds? Yeah, 20 seconds. So it's doing time.monotonic plus. What do we think, an hour? 10 minutes? 30 minutes? Twice an hour? Twice an hour seems good. So 60 seconds in a minute times 30 minutes. Then we would put this down here. Maybe I should do 5 minutes while I'm testing. I have a battery. The pulley. I got a couple batteries. One of them is with my Pygamer. I'm gonna ask actually. Okay. I think I'm gonna briefly look for a battery. Because this does fake sleeping if you are plugged into USB. Battery is the easiest way to get off a USB, I think. So I had a data power only cord. I don't know if that works. Alarm.wakeAlarm should be an alarm object that includes a field describing the pin. Okay, so maybe we can, Dan answered back to us here, maybe we can have, like, A button wakes up, does one thing, B button wakes up, does another thing. That way we don't have to worry about doing a different sleep time for the temperatures. We could just say if, you know, D1 or whatever, I don't actually know the numbers, but like if this left button is pushed, wake up and show this stuff. If this button is pushed, second one, then wake up, show the temperatures. If they want to get back to here, they just press the first button. Or wait for the hour or half hour, which is what we set it to. And then it wakes up from the time alarm. Goes back to this. Be a nice touch. Great. I'm going to try to find a battery real fast. I'll be back. LiPo? And for okay, we have batteries. We have LC709-203F fuel gauge, which comes, well, it either came with a battery or I had a battery and put it in the package with it. I don't actually remember. But Doesn't actually matter. Out at this. Okay. Battery. Back in here. One thing is, I have no idea how charged this battery would be. I'm not sure. Charge. This does have a charge light. It was not lit a moment ago. Yeah. The USB will charge LiPo. So I think what I'll do is let's just lower the sleep value. Not quite 30 minutes. Let's call it 5 minutes. Seconds times 5 minutes. And yeah, we're gonna save that. Let it run. It will update the start, and then I'll just try to keep an eye on it. And then after 5 minutes, we'll see if the elapsed time ends up updating again. One thing is, we didn't. Hey. Okay. This I don't think is running. I don't think it ran. Seems dead too. I can't like do anything else. Like stuck. I can't send anything. Control T, no, Control C and D don't do anything. Battery change? Serial? An on-off switch. Switch it off and it becomes disconnected. On. Connects. CircuitPy shows up. Okay. Ran. Oh, but it does say pending. We actually need to run this without the USB cable. We actually need to run it without the USB cable. Is there a way for the AgTag to know battery level? Or if that's part of it or not. Of a fuel gauge chip thing, basically. A battery. Looping section. Yeah, I guess we are looping. Actually say anything about that pin. Okay. this. Oh, it's the satellite board. Okay. I don't know though. Seems like the bus, like it stopped communicating with the device. Needs to reset, maybe connect or something. Cat looking guilty. This is a bit of a long shot, but I'm kind of curious. I need to clear out some branches in this repo. I don't ever really delete branches, but this repo is especially bad because I've done a lot of PR reviews. Main, let's pull. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so nothing. None of the learn guide code uses that pin. I'm curious. I'm going to ask. Okay. I mean, mostly I was trying to figure out if I could tell how full the battery was to know, because like this battery's just been sitting in the toolbox for since ever I messed with that fuel gauge. I have no idea what level it was at then. I have no idea what level it's at now. But we really only need it long enough. We only need it charged enough to last for 5 minutes. Set this to 5 minutes. So been plugged in now for long enough. Surely it's got at least 5 minutes of juice on it. So I think what I'm going to do is just unplug USB. We definitely saved, right? Yeah, okay. Didn't see an asterisk there right the second before it disappeared. Turn off, turn back on. And we got our blinkies. Should be connecting and downloading data right now. Of course, we can't see it because we don't have serial anymore. A little piece of fuzz here. Into the tape. Further up, I see. Okay. There we go. Okay. So it fetched the current data, put it on the screen. Gonna sleep for 5 minutes. So 3916 is what it was on when it first ran. So we'll check in after a few minutes and then see if this got updated correctly. And while that is going, I will do things actually. For one thing, I need to take a quick break and run to the restroom and come back, and then I'm gonna switch over and start trying to make these builds with the updated thermsystor library. I need to make a be right back thing for my stream. I just don't have one. Hey, can I have this one? This is pretty. How do I select them? Thing is, like, actually let me do anything. Okay. Tip of the day was also open. And here's the next problem. Okay. I will be right back, as the thing says. We will save this off and use it as an actual BRB slide. Only in the schematic, what I can tell, it's a typical 50% of VBAT voltage reading. Okay, I don't know what that means all the way, but typical 50% of VBAT. You just take an analog reading from it and see what it does, I guess. 3916. Write down the updated. Be sure to know if it's different. All right. Okay. And we're back. But only for 1 second because actually I want to my water real fast. All right. Now we are actually back. Here we go. Let's be Okay. Oh, my sea lion. Both. Want to get sea lion? So the truth is, it does not offer some of the things I was hoping it would. And know if there is truly that big of an upside compared to PyCharm. PyCharm doesn't understand any of the C code at all. I guess the code formatting and stuff, that's probably the biggest, like, real benefit, truthfully. This update? This did, actually. So we got a new pull at 4428. 1704. So actually, we should be getting another one in about a minute or so. See when it happens, maybe. Oh. I think so. Not sure the relation between sensed voltage and charge level is simple. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But even if it's rough, like this chart on the battery pack and the current temperature. I see. Okay. So the battery pin, it could give you a rough idea maybe of around what level your thing is charged, but not like, can't be super specifically sure. Oh, here's our refresh. There we go. 49.58 is our new elapsed time. 78.62222 is our new percent. So I'm just going to leave that running there. I will cover it up a little bit, but we'll bounce back and check in on it a couple more times just to make sure that it keeps running successfully. And then I'll come back, I think, and I want to try the pin sleep for the temperatures. Might do that as well. But then I will probably just try to get get a guide for it put together. I think the intention there was to make a guide on that one, so. Mention else. PT is the one that asked me about this. Let's see. Yeah, it looks good. MagTag with, oh, this was a daily update would be perfect as it isn't going that fast. Okay. Well, you can of course always just change the value. Daily update would take a lot longer to test. So we need to do two things. I need to learn how to build CircuitPython with a different language, which I guess is probably just passing another flag to make. You run make to build? Actually, while I'm thinking about it, Okay. I don't know if I'm. Sorry, a little scatterbrained sometimes. I'm trying to keep an eye on the help with chat as well. HID keyboard. That's it's NRF. Works one iOS device. Now I'd like to pair and connect to multiple. Able to select inside my keyboard app. Like somebody lost their load on the street there. They're not good. Any idea if this is possible with CircuitPython? Any consumer keyboards are allowing this. Months ago. I'd like to pair and connect to multiple iOS devices simultaneously and be able to select inside my keyboard app to which iOS device the keys shall be sent. I wonder what they mean by keyboard app. I guess the CircuitPython code running on the Itsy Bitsy? I have no idea if that's possible though. That's probably like a... Dan might have an idea at a low level if it can be connected to multiple things like that. Language translation ES. Okay. What are the other codes? Yeah. So German and Japanese were the two mentioned. JA for Japanese. DE underscore DE for German. So I'm going to make a stock build Circuit Playground Express with German. Make sure that works. We're on main. I'm going to pull, which I think is actually going to take a second. While that's updating, I'm going to go grab my Circuit Playground Express. Beat it. Oh, I moved that to a new window. Oh, this just refreshed again. CPX there. I'll probably wrap up in about 45 minutes. That's about noon my time, which gives me an hour then until the meeting. Python weekly meeting. I'm probably not going to commit to any specific schedule, but it is likely that I'll stream on Mondays like this while I'm working on CircuitPython stuff. Kind of like having the stream running and occasionally having people pop in and ask questions and stuff like that. It's just nice to have it going while I'm working. But I don't know exactly, like, I may not start at the same time every week. I may not go for the same amount of time every week, so probably will not schedule anything, but if you're interested in this kind of content, there'll probably be more of it on Mondays generally. Okay, so we got updated. I'm gonna delete these. Start with, actually, I'm gonna make an English build. I'm gonna make a default build. Oh. Touch submodule? This does not actually have the other one I was working. Thing is that we already actually had. Last thing I did with this was similar to what I'm doing now, which is trying to build for a library PR. You check what branch you're on. Detached. That means I'm not on a branch. All right, fingers crossed. I think that's what I need to do. Basically, I want to undo the last thing I tested and get all my frozen libraries back to stock and update any of them that might have been updated since the last time I did this. It's like that is happening. APSD something something, that's going to be the one that I know for sure changed. 0. Top. So I think maybe I need to do a fetch or something. I don't know. I think we're back to stock, and that one's not used on this device anyway, so if for, oh, this just updated again. Didn't catch it in time, but new values are 1605, 78.6382. Progress. Okay. That's set. Make board is going to be Circuit Playground Express. Make sure this works. Error occurs, it hangs the I2C bus. So far, the only way to get it to work again is power off on the PyCube. Setting the board will set also fails. Yeah. Initialize I2C hardware. Including these libraries. So thermzistor, this is going to be the one ultimately we're going to update. Potentially, right? There's a PR open to update it, but for testing, we're definitely going to update it to that PR branch and then make this build again. Okay, that succeeded. So now let's actually go change thermzistor. So Okay, so we're going to check out 19 into this thermistor submodule. And now I'm going to run clean. And build this again. Time it should have change to thermistor in it. While that's running, I'm going to plug in my Circuit Playground and get ready to load this firmware to it once it's finished building. Plug it in. Double press reset. Oh. Covered by me. Play boot. I'm a little torn. I think Sea Lion didn't provide as many things as I was hoping it would, but it does have a few things that are a little bit nice. So we got our firmware. Another terminal here. Okay. Put this firmware we built onto the playground. Out here. No idea what our CodePy is doing. Looks like it's spamming the prints though. Oh, how did I do that? I should just delete it, right? I have no idea what's in it. Touches. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I need this. Somebody was asking for help with this. This is like, if you touch all of the touchpads, then do something. But if you're not touching all of them, then don't do something. I think that's the gist of this, but it was somebody else's code. Trying to help them figure something out with it. So I'll just go right. Okay. If this works, it'll just print the temperature over and over once a second. Good to me. Let's make sure we don't have the library loaded, right? So yeah, there is not no thermistor listed here in lib. We definitely are using the one from frozen in. Now let's check this. We should have resistance now, right? Resistance. Enhanced. Figured I would mess that up. Yeah, okay. Got the resistance values, so that seems to be working. And this is like up here-ish, I think. Touch it, it'll go back up. My skin temp actually drops it by a 3 or 2. If I held it on there long enough, it would warm back up from body temperature. But and this definitely changes the resistances, which is ultimately where the temperature comes from anyway, is the resistance value. So this was basically just allowing it to get the raw resistance as well, to be able to just get the temperature. So that seems to be working. So far, I think we're looking good. This is the English build, though, which doesn't take up the most amount of space. So the next thing we'll do is build the German one. I'm going to do clean again. What was that? Lang equals? Translation equals. E. Oh. Did. I think that's just because we're not on a regular branch. We're not on the branch it's expecting, I think. That's probably why this is happening. We're definitely on the test branch, though, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to print the resistance like we did, which we should ultimately prove the other way as well. I'll go back to his stock build and make sure that that doesn't. But it looks like we got German all right, so here we need to go up 1, back down 1, double click reset. Yep. Good. Copy this. Yep. Only not English anymore. Looks German. This is still working. Finger touching it again. Good. So let's do Japanese and then do a stock build and make sure that it does not allow us to print the resistance. That's kind of like last part of testing, I guess, to make sure that we're actually like doing what we think we are and everything works how we think it does. So I'll run clean again. I don't know if I actually need to do that or not, but JA, I think it was. Yeah. Double tap reset. This looks like it built. I was not actually checking the bytes. I wonder, we had 2936, 2700 free on the German, 4400 free on that. No, this was still the update. This was the English build, 428. Stock build, 4532. So we did take up 104 bytes, basically. But the one that's closest to not fitting looks like German, and it has 2700 free still. Japanese went here. We're in bootloader, so we can copy this. Oh, that's not good. All right, we need it. See, like I do ls and there's nothing here. But the thing is, like, we're in this phantom folder that got deleted when we ran clean. I just go back into the folder with the exact same name. Now it has stuff in it. I don't know where the terminal's actually at when that folder gets deleted. We got CircuitPy. We reconnected. Oh. AgTag just refreshed and actually failed. But that'll be the error that we want to catch. Okay. Did it crash? I don't have... Not actually ending. Okay. So this actually happened a little while ago too, right? I got in a state where my TO is not sending. And all I did is reconnect, I think. I wonder what's causing that. That's TO, if that's on my end, or TO, or like my computer. Because it was on the mag tag earlier. Okay. That might have just been running fine the whole time and we just weren't seeing it because our TO like out of thin air basically. But we're definitely on Japanese now, it looks like. And we're running and we're getting resistances. If I touch it, the temperature again goes down a couple degrees because right now my skin temp is a little cold. So that seems to be still working. So German, Japanese both work good. What I am gonna do is go back to a stock build and just confirm that this crashes because resistance doesn't exist. Stock build. Therm sister. Tab reset. Again, didn't it? Yeah. Hmm. This time it got stuck twice. The first time I reconnected, it was still in that state where no communication seemed to be going back and forth. But I just reconnected one more time. Came all right back. And it does crash now because it doesn't have resistance, which makes sense. Basically, we used to have temperature property only. Which ended up kind of hard to follow the red-green times. So heating. Inside of temperature, it used to get a local variable called reading. Now it has the resistance property, which gets the same local variable reading and just returns it. And then inside of temperature, it uses self-dust resistance, where previously it did the local variable reading. Okay, that does make total sense to me. I take a minute to kind of flow through it there. I get a little overwhelmed sometimes with the red-green. Like, my brain doesn't want to process the fact that, like, red is gone now. I kind of see, like, doubled up stuff, and it freaks me out a little bit, but I step through it and really think about it, and I can get there. And this does seem fine to me. I don't have a like multimeter really to check the exact resistance, but I assume it is correct and or at the very least all the same, right? None of this stuff changed. And the temperatures, the room temperatures do seem pretty accurate. I don't have a thermometer set up, but that is pretty darn close to room temp. 70s. Certainly pretty close, so it's not, if it's off, it's not off by. Yeah, seems good to me. Probably wrap it up after this. A little while, eat some food, and then the meeting will be coming up at 1 p.m. my time, so about an hour and 15 minutes from now. This changed good to me. did we say 2700? I want to say. Wrong project. $700 free. Wait and see anybody else mention on this one. Wait to merge it. Drop the approve there, and if no one else has any input on it, after a while we can go ahead and merge it up. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, and food, and then I'll be on the CircuitPython meeting, weekly meeting again. That's at 1 p.m. my time, which is in about an hour and 15 minutes or so. And then I don't know, I'll be working some more after that. I don't know if I'll end up streaming it or not, but possibly so. If you're interested, then you can follow me on Twitch and find me there. Thank you to anyone who watched, and I will catch you all next time. Thanks.